Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Pharma Focus. I hope you guys are doing really great. This video is going to be about the introduction of ICH E2 Pharmacovigilance guidelines, and majorly we are going to discuss about ICH E2A to E2F guidelines, which correlate to the global drug safety standards. So I'm starting this series, and all the videos coming forward will be in various parts. For example, the coming video after this introductory video would be about E2A guideline, and it depends on how long that guideline is. But I'll be going through the major topics or the major insights of what that guideline actually contains. So let's begin with the introduction. So before I dive into what ICH guidelines are, let's first discuss that why drug safety matters. We all know that there are millions of people worldwide who are using the medicines to improve their lives or to cure disease, right? But medicines, they do improve lives, but the safety monitoring, that is very essential. So as you can see on my screen already, that some of the adverse effects, they appear only after the widespread use. So when we conduct the clinical trials, that is before the drug is marketed, the clinical trials are conducted and the adverse effects, they are monitored, right? The safety and the efficacy of the drug, that is monitored, although that is already done at that stage. But when the drug comes in the market, there is a widespread use of that drug amongst the population, that is variety of population, right? Many people are suffering from various diseases, and some of them have various other complications. And again, the population which is a kind of a vulnerable population, they are sometimes not tested. There are inclusion and exclusion criteria while doing these trials. So there are many other factors that correlate, and they contribute that the medicine that is there on the market now, that needs a safety monitoring. So this is where PV plays a critical role. So let's begin what ICH guidelines are. So these are the harmonized technical requirements for pharmaceutical products, which is developed by ICH, International Council for Harmonization. So this is generally to ensure the safe, effective, and high quality medicines. So these kind of guidelines, they are internationally accepted standards, and because of these, they standardize the drug development across the regions, right? So this is majorly ICH guidelines. They are a kind of an initiative that bring together the regulatory authorities, the pharmaceutical industries, to discuss various scientific and technical aspects of pharmaceutical product development and registration, right? So this harmonization, it is important because it leads to more rational use of human, animal, and other resources, and then the unnecessary delays in global development and availability of new medicines, while maintaining the safeguards like quality, efficacy, safety, and other regulatory obligations that are necessary to protect the public health. So that is what ICH guidelines are. So now let's discuss about major categorization of these ICH guidelines. So we have majorly four groups here, which is the quality, safety, and efficacy and multidisciplinary guidelines, right? So these are designed to harmonize the global pharmaceutical technical requirements, and these guidelines, they cover the entire product life cycle from preclinical testing to manufacturing to quality to clinical trials to regulatory submission standards, which is the pharmacovigilance. So ICH efficacy guidelines, they are very critical here in regard to pharmacovigilance by ensuring the safety, data collection, reporting, risk management from clinical trials through post marketing, etc. And the key guidelines are E2A to E2F. that harmonize all of these things like adverse event reporting, safety signaling, then risk assessment, PSURs, pharmacovigilance planning, etc. All right. So if we focus on the quality guidelines, we come across the chemical and pharmaceutical quality assurance, including the stability studies, impurities testing, and the good manufacturing practices. Then we have the safety guidelines, which focus on the preclinical studies, including the carcinogenicity testing, genotoxicity, and safety pharmacology. And then we have the efficacy guidelines, which is it focuses on the clinical studies in human subjects, including the good clinical practices in trial designs and PV related things that I discussed earlier. And then we have the multidisciplinary guidelines. So they cover any cross cutting topics that do not uniquely fit into any of the other categories, like MEDRA terminology, common technical document, and there are many other things that come under multidisciplinary guidelines. So now let's discuss in this that what are exactly ICH E2 guidelines. So ICH E2 guidelines are a series of harmonized international guidelines or standards that are designed to manage the drug safety, PV, and clinical safety data spanning from drug development through post-marketing. So they define, harmonize, and standardize the reporting of adverse drug reactions and periodic safety updates to ensure the regulatory compliance globally. This is something which I've mentioned just in regard to pharmacovigilance. All right, so what these ICH E2 guidelines they consist of? This is a screenshot from the ICH website only, which states ICH E2A to E2F clinical safety data management, and we have variety of guidelines that are listed here. Talking about the first one, E2A is the clinical safety data management definition and standard. So this focuses majorly on the standards for expedited reporting of the cases, the SUSARs during the clinical investigations, and these involve various definitions and standards linked to it. Then we have E2B, which is electronic transmission of ICSRs, which sets the standards for the electronic or standardized and harmonized transmission of the safety reports. Then we have the another major guideline as E2C, which is periodic benefit risk evaluation reports, that is PBRR. So this provides the guidance on submitting of the regular, periodic, and comprehensive benefit risk assessment of the approved drugs. In next, we have E2D guidelines, which is post-approval safety data management, which covers the definitions and standards for reporting the adverse events after a drug has been approved for the marketing. Then we have E2E guidelines, which is the pharmacovigilance planning. So it provides guidance on creating, implementing, and managing PV plans for the risk assessment. And then in the end, we have E2F guidelines, which is Development Safety Update Report, the DSURs, and they focus on the structure for annual safety reporting during the clinical trial phases. Mostly the Development Safety Update reports, since they are linked to the investigational drug products that are still under investigation, so the reports related to them comes under this DSUR. So, who should actually watch this series? So, this series is going to be useful for pharmacovigilance professionals who are trying to, rebrush all the information in the guidelines. Then, the pharmacy and the life sciences students, the clinical research professionals, the drug safety associates, or anyone who is interested in knowing the global drug safety regulations. This is going to be a kind of a preparatory um, knowledge for anyone who is trying to grow his or her career in pharmacovigilance. So I would recommend you guys to do go through this series, and if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned because I'll be coming up with major guidelines in the coming videos, and I hope you guys find this video useful. So thank you so much.